and welcome to another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. I'm Julie Podewitz, CEO and founder, and today I welcome Laurie Schultz to the show. Welcome, Laurie.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate the invitation. Excited to chat today.
I am too. I want to learn all about you and your company. You are the principal and co-founder of Avenue and Viva Bene. I'm saying it right. Bene.
That's right.
And I don't know anything about Avenue and Viva Bene. So if you would let me know kind of what you're all about and what was it that really got you interested to co-found this company.
Well, let me give a little background on Avenue, but I think the most exciting thing that I want to chat with you about today is Viva Bene and what we're doing in that platform. But Avenue started out as Avenue Development. We're a commercial real estate development company. We focus only on senior living and healthcare properties. We were founded in 2015 with my business partner, Mike Mattingly. And we both have a background in senior living. He came from a construction side. I came from a development side. And I also had a development background in working with hospital systems, which has become really relevant in where we are in senior living today. But years ago, I was helping health systems expand their ambulatory care locations, right? Getting off of the hospital campuses and out into the neighborhoods to make healthcare more accessible. And now we're calling that the retailization of healthcare. And so that background kind of becomes important in Viva Bene that we'll talk about in a little bit. But right now we're a full service development company and have in-house construction. And then 2 years ago, we founded Viva Bene with my team. And this is a platform that I think is really near and dear to a lot of people's hearts on the purpose of why. We call our mission statement is development with purpose. And so we had a purpose of doing Viva Bene, but it's an active adult operations platform. Okay. But we have a healthcare partnership service component to it. And the whole premise of it is that we want to bring everything that's great about the socialization aspects of active adult, the affordability aspect of it, okay, but also include some direct primary care coordination, and wellness programming services for our residents on that affordable platform of active adult.
So that sounds, well, it sounds great. I'm taking notes, as you probably could see. It's into first thing, Laurie, is development with purpose. And, my mind, I was kind of smiling because, of course, development is, building business. And this is a growing business, senior living, in the senior living space, great investment, great business. Development can, I think sometimes it feels unemotional, right? It's just, yes, making money, yes, and, cutting down the trees and developing. And I live in an area that's developing all the time. And there's pushback sometimes with that. But development with purpose adds an emotional component. And you said you have a mission, that you developed Viva Bene with a specific goal in mind. And that's kind of cool to blend that emotional to that business development kind of unemotional or seemingly unemotional business, right?
Yes, well, that was the reason behind co-founding Avenue. A lot of developers, I would say, Julie, that's true, right? It's about an IRR, a return on your investment, and what's the bricks and mortar worth. But as we know, what's most important in senior living is what is happening in the walls of that building, and care that's being delivered, and residents finding a purpose in life again. And so that is what was most exciting for us and for our entire team, was finding that purpose and like you said, mirroring the real estate and what does have to be a return on someone's investment with the purpose that we all have in senior living. And so every project we do really revolves around that. And it was really our mission in the Viva Bene portfolio and operations platform was like, how do we really address the crisis that we all know is happening in senior living of affordability?
Right, right. So segueing over to that, so the active adult, it sounds like you are, looking at a problem, which is affordability. And it is a problem with mid-market and the need to push rate because of everything happening, the cost of doing business and cost of everything, right? Especially human capital and teams and staff. And of course, we deserve those rates. But what happens, those wages, what happens, right, is really squeezing my father, for example, who's a retired school teacher, passed away very recently, but lived in 6.5 years. But my brother and I subsidized him a bit. And his retirement was decent, worked hard and everything, but all those, are great, professionals that have a good retirement, but not extensive, are being pushed out of.
And your story is not unique, right?
Right. It's like that, we used to be able to, and some still do serve that 3,000 a month, kind of 35, maybe 4,000. When we get in that 5, 6, 7,000, I mean, it does push so many people, and it's that they're right in the middle, which is middle market. So take an active adult. So if someone wanted to move in on that socialization piece, loneliness, maybe, knowing people are there for a rate that's right in their budget, and then addressing those who do need some, with the gap in the active adult is, but what if, or my spouse has more needs than I do? Will active adult really fit? And it sounds like you guys are addressing both of these things.
Residents will move into a traditional senior living community on a needs basis. They have 8 to 14 chronic conditions by the time that they move in. So what can we do as an industry to attract residents earlier when they're younger, when they have less chronic conditions? By the time someone is 65 years of age or older, they already have on average 2 chronic conditions. And so that bell curve really starts to get steep as we age. So in an active adult setting or independent living, if we can attract people on that socialization aspect and grab them on the fun, right, of being in that community, but then create a wellness platform on top of that combines wellness programming, seminars on healthy living, on nutritional cooking, that it could be specific for a chronic condition that they do manage. If we have access to healthcare partnerships that can do care coordination, direct primary care services, and all of that is built on an affordable chassis of a rent of an active adult, which is similar to a multifamily building, we can keep residents healthier longer on that platform and delay the need of going into a higher acuity setting.
It makes a lot of sense. So someone can move in, and a resident can move in with no kind of those additional services, if you will, or the wellness piece, or the socialization, of course, would be part of active adult, but that the wellness as they age, as we all do, right? The potential need is, it sounds to me like what we used to think about independent living.
Right.
But the narrative is that that assisted living really is kind of squeezed here because people stay, like you said, it's very needs based. And for years and years and years, as long as I've been in the business, we've been talking about we have to create more value around wants so that we can attract people sooner. I don't believe we're doing a very good job at that across the board, not to be critical, but people are still waiting, right? And we have to build want. So the buzz is, assisted living is really high acuity. Independent is kind of what assisted kind of used to feel like maybe 15 years ago or so. And active adult now is kind of coming in as that first, what we used to be independent living.
Right.
Yeah. And we have to create. Why? I mean, why would somebody sell their home or leave their home, or if, if they're even if they're renting a condo or whatever, and move into maybe a smaller space, or go from ownership to rental, disrupt their whole life, right? There's got to be reasons. And besides the fact before the fact, we have 8 to 14 chronic conditions, which, by the way, blows my mind. It's kind of scary.
Yes. Well, and here's another stat for you, Julie. In 6 years from now, by 2029, over half of the population that is turning 65, which is over 14 million people, will have a savings of $60,000 or less. And so there's that disconnect. So as the baby boomer population ages and has more chronic conditions, they're not going to have that money, as you said, of savings to be in that assisted living setting. But here's what I would say about that, because I don't necessarily think our assisted living and memory care communities are going away by any means, but we need help on how to make that setting more affordable too. And I truly believe that what we're setting up in Viva Bene with our healthcare partnership with the national provider of Sevi Health can also be done in that higher acuity setting, and to take off some of the operating expenses for the senior living community as well. We don't have to have it all on our shoulders. I really think part of the answer of this middle market is in partnership, specifically with value-based care partners.
Mm-hmm. No, you make a great point. So you're partnering with or collaborating with Sevi Health. So Sevi
Yes.
Health provides, right? And
That's right.
It's a third party. And now, does the resident engage directly with them or through?
Yep, that's a great point, right? Because we're not licensed in our platform, but in assisted living, it could be both, right? And so I think assisted living has more options, especially because they are licensed care and how that works. On our platform, on Active Adult with Viva Bene, we provide Sevi Health a space to operate in, and they do co-programming with us. So already, even though our staff is much less than a senior living community, we already have reduced operating expenses because an activities director, for instance, that we may have in an active adult community can do other things during the day because Sevi Health is helping with our wellness programming.
Excellent. And how far along is the first Viva Bene is it under development? What's the status and timeline here?
We're under construction. Our first community is in the suburbs of St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. We're opening in the fall of next year of 2024. And pre-leasing starts just in a few short months here in about 90 days.
That's exciting. And what is the price point to move in?
A 1-bedroom starts around $1,500, $1,600 a month, right in line with multifamily rates in a market. Sure. Okay. And we have 1-bedrooms with dens that give some flexibility, and 2-bedroom and 2-bedroom with den options as well.
Okay, that's a great entry point, right? That's a starting rate.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. And then as if the need arises they reach out to Sevi Health in this case, and they know that when they're moving in.
So I would say, Julie, it's not necessarily when a need arises. I mean, our whole premise is going to be, we call it proactive living. Okay. We want you to manage your health and wellness before the need arises. What can we do to be proactive, make this fun and engaging, and keep you well longer? And so while a resident does not have to use Sevi Health services if they move in, we hope that the programming that we're doing, having Sevi being on site, will want to engage a resident to do that. I see.
So there are options. So yes. These are the options for engagement at whatever level.
Yes,
Okay.
it could be going to a fitness class, going to a seminar, or saying, hey, I do want Sevi to be my primary care doctor, and I'm going to go downstairs and see them every quarter just
Got
to
it.
do a checkup and make sure I'm okay.
Can they, can a resident engage in maybe like the yoga class, or do they need to be part of the, the kind of the program?
No, the program's included in their rent.
Oh, it
So
is. Okay.
all of the programming that we do, what we call the Propel programming plan, it's
Okay.
all included in the rent. Any specific services that Sevi provides then is billed through the resident's insurance. Sevi is also payer agnostic. So our platform is not on a Medicare Advantage plan right now. You don't have to have specific insurance. A resident can still be working and have their employer's insurance. They can be on a Medicare plan. They can be on an MA plan. We wanted to make that as broad of an option as possible.
Wow. This is, you really, it sounds amazing. And it sounds like you've really, I mean, you're starting something that I think there's should be incredible buzz around, incredible success. I am really, really excited for you and interested to hear how this goes. I can't imagine the local buzz and national buzz, right? But the local buzz outside of St. Louis is probably starting up now. If you're leasing soon, right?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Still some education to do on active adult for sure. But we
Wait,
hope to have a lot of lessons learned in this that we can share with the industry and how we can take some of these tools and use them in assisted living.
all right, before we go, just one last question and around marketing, around, that active adult, it's still relatively new, maybe not a new product as much as that terminology, and some are still like, what do we really call this? And just because we've been talking about it doesn't mean the public understands
Right.
or is even heard of it. So how do you, what advice or how are you going to market this, your new product? What is it called? Is it Viva Bene of?
It's Viva Bene at St. Peter's is our first location. So all the brands will be Viva Bene at the location. So a couple of things. I mean, we have a great partner in Greystar is doing our property management, and they are certainly the go-to of knowledge in active adult. The one thing I would say is, especially in markets where you have a new product type, whether it's active adult or something else, and this, Julie, start early. We're starting a year before we open with our pre-leasing and education. And we are very clear about our brand. We know what our brand guidelines are. We have been very clear in our pre-marketing efforts as we get ready to launch here, what we're saying, what is our value proposition to the residents, and what do they get besides just a social community. So we've been very clear about who we are as Viva Bene, what our brand is, and what our mission is.
Gosh, I wish you all the success, and I know this. I'm really looking forward to. I would definitely like to have you back on, Laurie, in, I don't know, maybe half a year or a year out, and kind of to let us know how things are going, and more advice that you have, because like you said, we all learn as we go, or we should, right? And both the
Yes.
wins and also those bumps or crevasses as it could be, right? But just learning.
And there will be, yes. Learn on my
So,
shoulders. Happy to share.
awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you again so much for sharing. I love learning more about what you're doing, and I know other people will as well. And if someone would like to reach out to you, Laurie, what's the best way to contact you?
So there's two ways. Our Viva Bene website is up and going for the brand. And so it's vivabeneliving.com.
Okay.
You can also find me on our Avenue website at Avenue Dev, DEV, abbreviation for development, avenuedev.com.
If you'd like to learn more about Grow Your Occupancy or a new launch product this month, Occupancy Coach, please visit us at growyouroccupancy.com. You can also look up occupancycoach.com. And we offer a lot of services, and we have a free webinar once a quarter. So jump on and register. Would love to have you join us. And again, thank you, Laurie, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast.